Please sit in any comfortable posture with hands on your knees in Jnana or Chin Mudra. Eyes and mouth gently closed. The body in a straight line. And make your body steady, comfortable, and motionless. Become aware of all the body parts one by one. Now shift your awareness to your breath. Maintain the awareness of your breath. Bring your awareness now to your eyebrow center, the Bhumadhya. Visualizing the form of Shri Ganesha at the eyebrow center. Let us chant the mantra Om 3 times altogether. Take in a deep breath. All together. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Rubbing the palms against each other. Place him on the closed eyes. And after some time, move the palms away. Open your eyes. Namo Narayan. Hari Om. So, continuing our Aradhana dedicated to Lord Ganesha. Let us begin with a short visualization of Shri Ganesha, followed by imbibing the energy within us using the means of pranayam. In the morning, we had a short meditation. In the evening, we shall do it with the means of pranayam. Then we shall take the sankalpa, chant the Atharva Shirsham 3 times, followed by a short discussion. So please sit in a comfortable posture. Eyes gently closed, hands on your knees. Awareness once again on the body. Feel that there is no tension anywhere in the body. Let your awareness gravitate towards your eyebrow center and try to visualize the form of radiant Sri Ganesha. Visualize him in complete detail. Feel his presence. Maintaining our awareness on the Ganesha Tattva, the element of Ganesha, we shall do the Nadi Shodhan Pranayam. Nadi Shodhan, purification of the nadis, the channels. In the morning, we work with the chakras. Now we are working with the nadis, because these are the pathways along which the consciousness as well as the energy flow. And if these are not clear, there is not going to be any change within us. So we need to purify them. And instead of just purifying them with any usual method of purification, it is most appropriate that we do the purification using the Nadi Shodhan Pranayam. And along with Nadi Shodhan, we should also use the mantra of Ganesha, Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. So, like yesterday, we shall breathe in, inhalation 1, internal retention 4, exhalation 2, external retention 2. With this, we shall do the Nadi Shodhan Pranayam. I hope everybody is aware and knows Nadi Shodhan Pranayam. Does anybody not know Nadi Shodhan Pranayam? Please give me a mark. विनायक जी, रावण जी, आपको नाड़ी शोधन नहीं आता है? Okay, fine. So I'll just explain it to you. It's very, very simple. It's not very difficult. What we will have to do is, Nadi Shodhan is also known as alternate nostril breathing. Means we will breathe in through the left. We always begin with the left. We breathe in through the left. Hold for 4 mantras. Exhale through the right for 2 mantras. Hold outside for 2 mantras. Then inhale from the right 1 mantra. Hold 4 mantras. Exhale from the left 2 mantras. External retention 2 mantras. Many people do it this way. Some people do it this way. Yes, it can work. There is nothing wrong in it. But when we are trying to connect with a higher power, that higher connection is your Ajna Chakra. So it is always very helpful if with these 2 fingers you touch the trigger point for Ajna. So you have added in itself a dimension for Nadi Shodhan. Then you add Kumbhak. Beyond that, you add the mantra. So therefore, you are not just using Scotch Brite, but you are also using Harpic, and you are also using a tile cleaner. That sort of cleaning which we will be doing. And we will be doing 3 rounds of this pranayama. So please close your eyes. Bring your hands in Nasagra Mudra. The index and middle finger are stretched out. The thumb is outstretched. The ring and little finger are turned. Turn your hand, place it on the eyebrow center so that the top of the ring finger and the thumb are able to close the nostrils. Please observe that the wrist is not bent. You don't want a wrist bent this way. It is okay if the fingers go slightly above the eyebrow center, but putting the fingers at the eyebrow center and creating a bend over here will tire you out quickly. So therefore, hands straight. We shall begin with the left nostril. I shall give the first round as a guidance, and then the next two rounds we shall continue on our own. Close the right nostril. Breathe normally through the left nostril. Inhalation, exhalation, inhalation, exhalation. Start the mantra Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha and continue inhalation and exhalation through the left nostril as a little bit of practice for coordinating the breath. Now, with the next inhalation, we shall start the Nadi Shodhana. Start inhaling through the left. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Internal retention. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Exhalation right. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. External retention. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Inhalation from right. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Internal retention. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Exhalation left. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. External retention. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Now continue the same manner for two more breaths at your own speed, doing the chant yourself. You can begin now. And now complete the pranayam and bring your hands down. Keep your eyes closed. Feel the shift within yourself. If you wish, you can continue chanting the mantra Om Gam Ganapataye Namah. We shall now take the Sankalpa, the three coordinates, visualization of Ganesha Invoking him, the objective of Sarve api sukhinas santu, Sarve santu niramayaha, Sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhavet. The desire to complete set of 1000 chantings of Atharva Shirsha during this auspicious period, and you can add any other objective which you wish at the end of it. Then let us invoke the energy of Ganesha with the Dhyana mantra. Om Kharvam Sthulatanum Gajendra Vadanam Lambodaram Sundaram Prasyandan Madagandha Lubdha Madhupa Vyalola Gandasthalam Dantaghat Vidaritari Rudirai Sindura Shobhakaram Vande Shailasutasutam Ganapatim Siddhipradam Kamadam. Om Lam Prithvyatmakam Gandham Kalpayami Ham Akashatmakam Pushpam Kalpayami Yam Vayavyatmakam Deepam Kalpayami Ram Agnyatmakam Deepam Darpshayami Vam Amrutatmakam Amrutamaya Mahanaivedyam Kalpayami Samsarvatmakam Sarvopachara Pujam Sankalpayami Namaha. Now we shall perform the Nyas, the psychic armor, so that we can contain this energy. Om Gam Angushtabhyam Namaha. Om Gim Tarjanibhyam Namaha. Om Gum Madhyamabhyam Namaha. Om Gaim Anamikabhyam Namaha. Om Gaum Kanishtikabhyam Namaha. Om Gah Karatalakaraprushthabhyam Namaha. Om Gam Hrudayaya Namaha. Om Gim Shirase Swaha. Om Gum Shikhaye Vashata. Om Gaim Kavachaya Hum. Om Gaum Netratrayaya Vaushak. Om Gahaha Astraya Fata. Iti Digbandhaha. Visualize the form of Shri Ganesha and invoke him for the purpose we have already quantified. Now, we shall chant the Ganpati Atharva Shirsha 3 times. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Bhadram Karnebhi Shrunuyama Deva. Bhadram Pashyemakshabhirjatraha. Sthirairangai Stushtvagumsastanubhi Vyashema. Devahitam Yadayuhu. Swasti na Indro Vruddhashravah. Swasti na Pusha Vishwavedaha. Swasti na Starksho Arishtanemihi. Swasti no Bruhaspatir Dadatu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. अथ श्री गणेशाथर्व शीर्षं व्याख्यास्यामः. ओम नमस्ते गणपतये त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं तत्त्वमसि त्वमेव केवलं कर्तासि त्वमेव केवलं धर्तासि त्वमेव केवलं हर्तासि त्वमेव सर्वं खल्विदं ब्रह्मासि त्वं साक्षादात्मासि नित्यं कृतं वच्मि सत्यं वच्मि अवत्वं माम् अववक्तारम् अवश्रोतारम् अवदातारम् अवधातारम् अवानुचानमवशिष्यम् अवपश्चात्तात् अवपुरस्तात् अवोत्तरात्तात् अवदक्षिणात्तात् अवचोर्ध्वात्तात् अवाधरात्तात् सर्वतो मां पाहि पाहि समन्तात् त्वं वाङ्मयस्त्वं चिन्मयः त्वम् आनन्दमय त्वं ब्रह्ममयः त्वं सच्चिदानन्दाद्वितीयोऽसि त्वं प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वं ज्ञानमयो विज्ञानमयोऽसि सर्वं जगदिदं त्वत्तो जायते सर्वं जगदिदं त्वत्तस्तिष्ठति सर्वं जगदिदं त्वयि लयमेष्यति सर्वं जगदिदं त्वयि प्रत्येति त्वं भूमिरापो नलो निलो नभः त्वं चत्वारि वाक्पदानि त्वं गुणत्रयातीतः त्वम् अवस्थात्रयातीतः त्वं कालत्रयातीतः त्वं मूलाधारस्थितोऽसि नित्यं त्वं शक्तित्रयात्मकः त्वां योगिनो ध्यायन्ति नित्यं त्वं ब्रह्मास्त्वं विष्णुस्त्वं रुद्रस्त्वम् इन्द्रस्त्वम् अग्निस्त्वं वायुस्त्वं सूर्यस्त्वं चन्द्रमास्त्वं ब्रह्मभूर्भुवस्वरोम् गणादिं पूर्वमुच्चार्य वर्णादिं तदनन्तरम् अनुस्वारः परतरः अर्धेन्दुलसितं तारेण रुद्धम् एतत्तव मनुस्वरूपं गकारः पूर्वरूपम् अकारो मध्यमरूपम् अनुस्वारश्चान्त्यरूपं बिन्दुरुत्तररूपं नादसन्धानं संहिता संधिः स ईशा गणेश विद्या गणकऋषिः निचृद्गायत्री छन्दः गणपतिर्देवता ॐ गं गणपतये नमः एकदन्ताय विद्महे वक्रतुण्डाय धीमहि तन्नो दन्तिः प्रचोदयात् एकदन्तं चतुर्हस्तं पाशमं कुशधारणं रदं च वरदं हस्तैः बिभ्राणं मूषकध्वजं रक्तं लम्बोदरं शूर्पकर्णकं रक्तवाससं रक्तगन्धानुलिप्ताङ्गं रक्तपुष्पैः सुपूजितं भक्तानुकम्पिनं देवं जगत्कारणमच्युतम् आविर्भूतं च सृष्ट्यादौ प्रकृतेः पुरुषात् परम् एवं ध्यायति यो नित्यं स योगी योगिनां वरः ओम नमो व्रातपतये नमो गणपतये नमः प्रमथपतये नमस्ते अस्तु लंबोदराय एकदन्ताय विघ्ननाशिने शिवसुताय श्रीवरदमूर्तये नमो नमः ओम नमस्ते गणपतये त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं तत्त्वमसि त्वमेव केवलं कर्तासि त्वमेव केवलं धर्तासि त्वमेव केवलं हर्तासि त्वमेव सर्वं खल्विदं ब्रह्मासि त्वं साक्षादात्मासि नित्यं ऋतं वच्मि सत्यं वच्मि अवत्वं माम् अववक्तारम् अवश्रोतारम् अवदातारम् अवधातारम् अवानुचानमशिष्यम् अवपश्चात्तात् अवपुरस्तात् अवोत्तरात्तात् अवदक्षिणात्तात् अवचोर्ध्वात्तात् अवाधरात्तात् सर्वतो मां पाहि पाहि समन्तात् त्वं वाङ्मयस्त्वं चिन्मयः त्वम् आनन्दमय त्वं ब्रह्ममयः त्वं सच्चिदानन्दाद्वितीयोऽसि त्वं प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वं ज्ञानमयो विज्ञानमयोऽसि सर्वं जगदिदं त्वत्तो जायते सर्वं जगदिदं त्वत्तस्तिष्ठति सर्वं जगदिदं त्वयि लयमेष्यति सर्वं जगदिदं त्वयि प्रत्येति त्वं भूमिरापो नलो निलो नभः त्वं चत्वारि वाक्पदानि त्वं गुणत्रयातीतः त्वम् अवस्थात्रयातीतः त्वं देहत्रयातीतः त्वं कालत्रयातीतः त्वं मूलाधारस्थितोऽसि नित्यं त्वं शक्तित्रयात्मकः त्वां योगिनो ध्यायन्ति नित्यं त्वं ब्रह्मास्त्वं विष्णुस्त्वं रुद्रस्त्वम् इन्द्रस्त्वम् अग्निस्त्वं वायुस्त्वं सूर्यस्त्वं चन्द्रमा त्वं ब्रह्मभूर्भुवस्वरोम् गणादिं पूर्वमुच्चार्य वर्णादिं तदनन्तरम् अनुस्वारः परतरः अर्धेन्दुलसितं तारेण रुद्धम् एतत्तव मनुस्वरूपं गकारः पूर्वरूपम् अकारो मध्यमरूपम् अनुस्वारश्चान्त्यरूपं बिन्दुरुत्तररूपं नादसन्धानं संहिता संधिः स ईशा गणेश विद्या गणकऋषिः निचृद्गायत्री छन्दः गणपतिर्देवता ॐ गं गणपतये नमः एकदन्ताय विद्महे वक्रतुण्डाय धीमहि तन्नो दन्तिः प्रचोदयात् एकदन्तं चतुर्हस्तं पाशमं कुशधारणं रदं च वरदं हस्तैः बिभ्राणं मूषकध्वजं रक्तं लम्बोदरं शूर्पकर्णकं रक्तवाससं रक्तगन्धानुलिप्ताङ्गं रक्तपुष्पैः सुपूजितं भक्तानुकम्पिनं देवं जगत्कारणमच्युतम् आविर्भूतं च सृष्ट्यादौ प्रकृतेः पुरुषात् परम् एवं ध्यायति यो नित्यं स योगी योगिनां वरः ओम नमो व्रातपतये नमो गणपतये नमः प्रमथपतये नमस्ते अस्तु लंबोदराय एकदन्ताय विघ्ननाशिने शिवसुताय श्रीवरदमूर्तये नमो नमः ओम नमस्ते गणपतये त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं तत्त्वमसि त्वमेव केवलं कर्तासि त्वमेव केवलं धर्तासि त्वमेव केवलं हर्तासि त्वमेव सर्वं खल्विदं ब्रह्मासि त्वं साक्षादात्मासि नित्यं ऋतं वच्मि सत्यं वच्मि अवत्वं माम् अववक्तारम् अवश्रोतारम् अवदातारम् अवधातारम् अवानुचानमशिष्यम् अवपश्चात्तात्, अवपुरस्तात्, अवोत्तरात्तात्, अवदक्षिणात्तात्, अवचोर्ध्वात्तात्, अवाधरात्तात्, सर्वतो मां पाहि पाहि समन्तात्। त्वं वाङ्मयस्त्वं चिन्मयः, त्वम् आनन्दमयः, त्वं ब्रह्ममयः, त्वं सच्चिदानन्दाद्वितीयोऽसि, त्वं प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि, त्वं ज्ञानमयो विज्ञानमयोऽसि। सर्वं जगदिदं त्वत्तो जायते, सर्वं जगदिदं त्वत्तस्तिष्ठति, सर्वं जगदिदं त्वयि लयमेष्यति, सर्वं जगदिदं त्वयि प्रत्येति। त्वं भूमिरापो नलो निलो नभः, त्वं चत्वारि वाक्पदानि, त्वं गुणत्रयातीतः, त्वम् अवस्थात्रयातीतः, त्वं देहत्रयातीतः, त्वं कालत्रयातीतः, त्वं मूलाधारस्थितोऽसि नित्यं, त्वं शक्तित्रयात्मकः, त्वां योगिनो ध्यायन्ति नित्यं। त्वं ब्रह्मास्त्वं विष्णुस्त्वं रुद्रस्त्वम् इन्द्रस्त्वम् अग्निस्त्वं वायुस्त्वं सूर्यस्त्वं चन्द्रमास्त्वं ब्रह्मभूर्भुवस्वरों गणादिं पूर्वमुच्चार्य वर्णादिं तदनन्तरम् अनुस्वारः प्रतरः अर्धेन्दुलसितं तारेण रुद्धम् एतत्तव मनुस्वरूपं गकारः पूर्वरूपम् अकारो मध्यमरूपम् अनुस्वारश्चान्त्यरूपं बिन्दुरुत्तररूपं नादः सन्धानं संहिता संधिः स ईशा गणेश विद्या गणकऋषिः निचरुद्गायत्री छन्दः गणपतिर्देवता ॐ गं गणपतये नमः। एकदन्ताय विद्महे वक्रतुण्डाय धीमहि तन्नो दन्ति प्रचोदयात्। एकदन्तं चतुर्हस्तं पाशमं कुशधारणं पदं च वरदं हस्तैः बिभ्राणं मूषकध्वजं रक्तं लम्बोदरं शूर्पकर्णकं रक्तवाससं रक्तगन्धानुलिप्ताङ्गं रक्तपुष्पैः सुपूजितं भक्तानुकंपिनं देवं जगत्कारणमच्युतम् आविर्भूतं च सृष्ट्यादौ प्रकृतेः पुरुषात् परम् एवं ध्यायति यो नित्यं स योगी योगिनां वरः। ओम नमो व्रातपतये नमो गणपतये नमः प्रमथपतये नमस्ते अस्तु लंबोदराय विघ्ननाशिने शिवसुताय श्रीवरदमूर्तये नमो नमः। एतदथर्वशीर्षमयोदिते स ब्रह्म भूयाय कल्पते स सर्वतः सुखमेधते स सर्वविघ्नैर्न बाध्यते स पञ्चमहापापात् प्रमुच्यते सायमधीयानो दिवसकृतं पापं नाशयति प्रातर्धीयानो रात्रिकृतं पापं नाशयति सायं प्रातः प्रयुञ्जानो अपापो भवति सर्वत्राधीयानोपविघ्नो भवति धर्मार्थकाममोक्षं च विन्दति इदमथर्वशीर्षमशिष्याय न देयम् यो यदि मोहात् दास्यति स पापीयान् भवति सहस्रावर्तनात् यं यं काममधीते तं तमनेन साधयेत् अनेन गणपतिम् अभिषिञ्चति स वाग्मी भवति चतुर्थ्यां मनश्नं जपति स विद्यावान् भवति इत्यथर्वणवाक्यं ब्रह्माद्यावरणं विद्यात् न बिभेति कदाचनेति यो दुर्वाङ्कुरैर्यजति स वै श्रवणोपमो भवति यो लाजैर्यजति स यशोवान् भवति स मेधावान् भवति यो मोदकसहस्रेण यजति स वाञ्छितफलमवाप्नोति यः साध्यः स सर्वं लभते स सर्वं लभते अष्टौ ब्राह्मणान् सम्यक् ग्राहीत्वा सूर्यवर्चस्वी भवति सूर्यग्रहे महानद्यां प्रतिमासन्निधौ वा जप्त्वा सिद्धमन्त्रो भवति महाविघ्नात् प्रमुच्यते महादोषात् प्रमुच्यते महापापात् प्रमुच्यते स सर्वविद् भवति य एवं वेद इत्युपनिषत्। ओम सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं कर्वावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। ओम गां हृदयाय नमः गीं शीर्षे स्वाहा गूं शिखाय षट् गैं त्वचाय हों गौं नेत्रत्रयाय वौ षट् गहः अस्त्राय फट् इति दिग्मुखः। With this we enable that energy to embed deep within us, and thanking Lord Ganesha for taking time and coming for our Aradhana, we respectfully bid adieu to the Ganesha energy, so that energy which was called for the chanting can now be released back into the cosmos. And then slowly open your eyes and we can move ahead we are doing the Aradhana of Sri Ganesha. We are chanting the Ganapati Atharva Shirsha, which is also known as the Ganapati Upanishad. We all know that Upanishads are sacred texts. They are great authorities. But what does Upanishad mean? Is it just a set of some intellectual gymnastics which somebody in the past had, and now we are saddled with it, needing to read it? No. Upanishads are not that. Upanishads are keywords. With one keyword, many things get explained. But the meaning of that keyword needs to be reflected upon. In ancient India, the system of knowledge was, it reveals from within. In today's times, everything is given on a piece of paper and we try to impose it into our system. In olden times, that was not the case, because the knowledge is already there within us. We need to work at activating that. It's the same way as your mobile already has got a SIM. All we have to do is we have to activate it. You don't need to put in another SIM over there. It's not going to work. It's just going to create more mess. So that is the system, how it was in the ancient Indian system of education. So there would be some keywords, some sutras. That sutra would have a mundane meaning, it would have a subtle meaning. And it's only after reflecting that the meaning comes forth. This Upanishad speaks about the nature of Ganesha. Ganesha is the Adi Purusha, the first form of consciousness. In the beginning, there was that formless, homogeneous entity. And then the thought came, I am one, let me be many. And when that happened, that was a vibration. And that vibration in scriptures is known as Hunkar. And Ganesha is the creation of that first Hunkar. He is the first creation. It is from him everything comes forth. The details of this are given in this Upanishad. But something which is even more essential and important for us is the story of Ganesha. Do you know how Ganesha was born? The story of the birth of Ganesha? If you know the story, please give me a check mark. Otherwise, I'm not going to know, because we are on a physically distant platform. Okay, so one person knows the story of birth of Ganesha. Okay, Vinayak ji also knows. Bas, only 2 people know the story. Good that I thought of confirming. I was not going to tell this. This was not a part of my... Okay, so let's start with that. The story goes that Parvati was wedded to Shiva, and after some time, their first son, Kartikeyan, had come along, and things were going along. Now, people would come, they would keep disturbing Parvati, because she was, the mistress of the whole area, wife of Shiva. All the time, something or the other, something or the other, something or the other. She had no privacy, as we like to call it. So one day she went into her inner sanctum sanctorum, that place from where nobody can come in. But people are very adamant and stubborn. They could not personally go there, so they would send some servant who would go in and barge in and disturb her. She got fed up and she decided, okay, now I need to have somebody who will listen to me, because all those people, they were devotees of Shiva, and they were always afraid that this senior lieutenant of Shiva's army has brought this message. How can I say no? And so therefore they were always a little bit reluctant. So she said, I need somebody of my own. Then, using the system of cloning, the story goes that she rubbed her body and she formed a clay. And from this clay, she made an image. And that image, she breathed life into it. And it became Ganesha. But this was a matter of cloning. So she cloned herself and created an image of herself. Ganesh would not allow anybody to come in. And all the work of Shiva started getting hampered. Everybody, they tried to say, what do you mean you're such a young boy? I'm such a big general. He said, I don't care. I have been told by my mother, nobody comes in. Nobody means nobody. So that is how it was. Things started getting stuck. They went to Shiva. Shiva said, hey, you go and tell Parvati, she will get it done. How could they? So things got stalled even further. And finally, with great courage, they said that, sir, can you just come once? It's a nice place. In a lot of different ways, they enticed Shiva to come so that he can himself have a look where the work is getting stuck. Shiva came charging in. Okay, I want to meet Parvati. And here there was this young boy with her trident. He would not let anybody go. And Shiva initially indulgently told him, hey, just stand aside. This is my place. I want to go in. He said, nothing doing. Can't go in. And, one thing led to the other. And there was a big battle which took place. And Shiva was finding that this young chap is almost equal to him in the battle. And he started getting more and more infuriated. And finally, he took his trident and sent it across. Cut the head of this impudent rascal. How dare he stop me? That child was killed and he walked in. As he walked in, Parvati said, oh, welcome, very nice. But how did you come in? Did nobody stop you at the gate? Shiva said, yes, he did. There was one young chap, I don't know who he was, and would not let anybody, everything, all work got stuck. So finally, then I just knocked him off. And then Parvati was angry. She would just not listen to anything. She said, I have created him. How dare you destroy him? I don't know anything. I want him back. And if that doesn't happen, and then she started, assuming the form of Kali. And then Shiva knew that, well, he had met his match. He had to do something. Scratched his head, thought quite a bit, then sent somebody. He said, go in this direction, find the first animal with specific details, bring the head of that being. And as luck would have it, the first being meeting all those criteria turned out to be an elephant. Orders are orders. They took the head of this elephant, brought him. And Shiva was like, hello, I didn't mean an elephant's head. But well, it had come. So then he said, okay. And he placed the head of that elephant on the torso of that young boy. And that became Ganesha, the elephant headed god. The other aspect of the head of an elephant we will discuss at a later date. The important story, important point is, especially for those who have studied yoga in some degree of depth, the abode of Devi Kundalini is Swadhishthan, Swa Adhishthan, her own abode. But she stays in her sanctum sanctorum, Muladhara. That is the place where she resides. And that is the place she did not want anybody to come. And who does she place over there? She places Ganesha. Ganesha is the Lord of Muladhara. He is the guardian angel of Muladhara. Without his permission, nobody can approach Kundalini, and nor can Kundalini arise in us. So, of course, arising of Kundalini is a very, very far distance away. But any practices which we want to do will not take place until and unless this form of energy, the Ganesha energy, the intelligence principle, is not propitiated. That is the significance of Ganesha. Anything which you need to do with intelligence, you will need energy to do it. And without Kundalini, we can very well be nothing but some animals or some vegetable. It's only as the Kundalini arises, the consciousness arises, the awareness changes, and many things which are hitherto unfathomable become possible. Shri Swamiji once likened it to the use of energy from an atom. From an atom, we get two types of energies. We get one, electrical energy, very, very useful, very powerful. However, from the atom, there is another type of energy. That energy is nuclear energy. And the type of work which the nuclear energy can do is exponentially higher than the type of work which a normal electric energy can do. He said that the normal functioning of the human body is like a low watt electric activity. Only when the Kundalini circuits start getting activated, not fully activated, that the genius within us starts blossoming and amazing things start happening. But for this genius to awaken, we need to get past that guardian angel over there. No matter what you do, if the guardian angel stops you, nothing is going to go forth. So, in the study of chakras, in the study of Kundalini, in the study of energy, in the desire to unfold the genius which is lying hidden within us, the first obstacle or the obstacle remover is Ganesha. He is an obstacle as long as you keep doing something in a wrong manner. The moment you do something in the correct manner, he becomes the harbinger of auspiciousness. And he is benevolent. He also allows us, teaches us what is auspicious, what to do. He provides us that intelligence. And that is the significance of Ganesha. If this is the significance of Ganesha, then why is the necessity of this Upanishad, this set of chantings. Why all these funny chants? Why can't we have spoken, we know about it enough? No. Intellectual knowledge is never enough. It drifts off. We need experiential knowledge. We need to eat the sweet, to know, yes, this is a sweet. There was once a story that a person, he was a, very strong scientific minded person. And at that point of time, cyanide, nobody knew what the taste of cyanide was. So he said, okay, for science, I will offer my life. I will eat cyanide. Keep a paper and a pen ready. The moment I eat cyanide, I will write down what the taste is. And then even if I die, I don't mind. I have, offered myself for science. Wonderful. Everybody was very pleased. All the preparations were made, paper, pen, everything, table, all. So he takes this tablet of cyanide, puts it on his mouth, and then takes the pen and writes something. And then he passes it. But everybody is very happy. Oh, wow. He has told us the taste of cyanide. So they look at that paper. And that paper is, there's just one big alphabet, S. So now they don't know. Is it sweet? Is it sour? Is it salty? They don't know. So what is the taste of cyanide? Don't know. Intellectual knowledge is in this manner. Imperfect. But only when you actually taste, then you know. Of course, we don't have to taste cyanide. What we have to taste is this energy. How do we do it? We can do it with the use of mantra. What is a mantra? A mantra is nothing but processed sound. Processed sound is a very essential and important concept. We all know that the entire creation came from sound or vibrations, the Big Bang. In the Bible, it is said, in the beginning, there was the sound, and the sound was with God. Vibration. So it's from vibration that everything comes from. Now, this vibration creates the entire creation. If we need to reach to the depths of this creation, to that original principle of creation, we need to use the means of sound, because sound is the subtlest, or the vibration is the subtlest of them all. And specific sounds, they can do wonders. If you shine a torch, you can just see a bit of light. But if you focus that light and make it into a laser, it will cut through steel. That is the strength of processing a vibration. If I talk and if I keep the microphone off, you are not going to be able to hear me. Or if the processing between here and your computer gets deranged, you are not going to hear me. I am talking, my sound has got processed. There is another level of processing, and then this sound rides piggyback on another sound, reaches you. There you unscramble that sound, decrypt it, and you are able to hear it as sound, processed sound. In the same manner as laser can perform operation, laser can crush your stones, laser can cut through steel, but it is not the same laser. The laser, it's different. If you use the same laser, it is going to burn your eye. No, you use a different laser. So processing is different. Concept might be the same, processed sound, processed vibrations, but type of processing changes. In the same manner, when we need to activate those subtle centers within, then there has to be a separate processing. And this processing happens with specific vibrations. Somebody in the morning was speaking about Sanskrit. Why is it that the mantras are in Sanskrit? Correction. Mantras are in Sanskrit. Mantras, they exist. They are aksharas. Akshara. Kshara is perishable. Akshara, imperishable. The vibration exists. This vibration is perceived in a specific manner, in complete alignment to what is actually present. Nothing is changed. And that code came to become the language Sanskrit. And our ancestors used this language as a means of communication. That is why we use Sanskrit, because in Sanskrit, the vibration, every akshara is very unique. Ka is different than ka. Ka is different than ka. In English, you can say put, put, but you don't say but, but. Same way, in Sanskrit, every pronunciation is extremely perfect. There's a complete science in itself. This science has derived from the vibrations within. If you remember, in the different petals of every chakra, there is specific vibration. Each petal, each aspect of the chakra gets activated by a specific vibration. When these vibrations are processed in a specific chronological order, then there is a specific impact. You process sound differently. You can have a megaphone, you can have a telephone, you can have different type of communications. That is the type of processing. So when we need to activate things within, then we need to have it in a specific chronological order. This chronological order was studied by the ancient scientists, and this was compiled. And based on this compilation, a language was derived. That became Sanskrit. And that is why we have everything in Sanskrit. And such chronologically ordered sounds have specific impact within us. Even if you do not understand the meaning of Atharva Shirsha, you chant Atharva Shirsha and you will get the benefit. At the end of the Atharva Shirsha, in fact, at the end of many chants, you have something known as the Phala Shruti. What do you do? What is the gain which I will have by chanting this? They have not said over there that you need to understand it, you need to this, that, the other. No, you just close your mind and chant and chant and chant and chant. And you will see that the effect starts happening within. However, if you use understanding, then the effect gets magnified much faster. That is why we need to understand what we are doing. Having understood what has to be done, then you chant it. That gives you great significance, great effect, and great power. So that is the significance of mantra. That is the significance of movement of energy. That is the significance of Ganesha. Ganesha is nothing but a replica of that highest consciousness, the highest intelligence principle. The Purusha or the Brahman is known as the intelligence principle, the cognating principle. It cognites, it doesn't do anything. Shakti is the dynamic principle, the action principle. But Purusha is the intelligence principle. I understand what has to be done, my brain. So our brain is a representation of Ganesha on the physical form. This is just 1% or maybe even less than 1% of the total gamut of what Ganesha can do in our life. To be able to understand this, to be able to activate this energy, we should chant the Atharva. So this is in brief the significance and the necessity or importance of the chanting of Atharva Shirsha. Also, it is time that we understand that these texts are not mere renditions for the sake of renditioning. These are mantras which are powerful mantras by which change starts taking place within you in the same manner as you take a paracetamol and your fever will come down. You understand or you don't understand the process and the mechanism of action. In the same manner, you do a perfect activity, it is going to have an impact. But it is much powerful if you understand it. And that is why we are going to have the combination of both. With this, let us conclude today's session. Having this understanding, let us go tomorrow further. And tomorrow evening, we will start with the Swadhyay proper of the Ganpati Atharva Shirsha. We have 5 minutes before we close. If anybody has any questions, yeah, welcome.
Namaste, Guruji. Can you hear me? I failed. Please try again.
Have all of you been able to understand what I was trying to convey to you?
How will you do it?
Yes.
Fine. Because
Yes, sir.
none of you is
How
saying
is-
anything.
Hello.
How is it possible, Swamiji? It is about Ganesha. It's every time we read, we learn something new. And you is the master of the brain, correct?
Yes.
Buddhi.
Buddhi.
Brain is the wrong word, buddhi. So according to me, every time I hear about the same thing, I learn something new. So it's like we are just a minuscule of things, but yes, whatever you said, we seem to understand.
That's correct.
नमो नारायण।
Namo Narayan.
हाँ जी, आपने जैसे बताया ना कि जब हम
आप कौन है? I don't know. Can you आप अपना नाम बतला देंगे?
हाँ, मैं निशा सारडा सांगली
हाँ
से
जी,
बोल रही
हाँ जी, हाँ जी, बोलिए।
हूँ। ये पूछना था कि जब हम मंत्र जप, जैसे आपने बताया कि मंत्र जप हम करते हैं तो उसका परिणाम अपने शरीर पे होता है और अनगिनत परिणाम होता है, लेकिन मतलब आज के समय में ना जब हम ये सब करते हैं तो जो एनर्जी लेवल, जो उत्साह अपना बना हुआ रहना चाहिए ना, तो उसमें अप्स एंड डाउन्स आते हैं। अपन मतलब बहुत सारे पाठ जप करते रहते हैं, लेकिन जो एक एनर्जी लेवल, जो उत्साह बना रहना चाहिए, तो वो उसको क्या करना चाहिए कि हमारा वो
उसी चीज के लिए योग अभ्यास करना जरूरी है, क्योंकि आज से हो सकता है 1000 साल पहले ये मंत्र जप करने की जो विधि थी जिससे हमारे जीवन में परिवर्तन आ सकता है, वो सब ज्ञात थी और उसके चलते हमको मालूम था कैसे करना है, क्या करना है, क्या नहीं करना है। अब समय के अनुसार थोड़ा ज्ञान लुप्त हो गया, थोड़ा ज्ञान थोड़ा सा दूषित हो गया, जैसे भी हुआ हो, आज हमारे पास वो पूरा ज्ञान नहीं है, सबके पास में नहीं है। इसीलिए उस ज्ञान को प्राप्त करने के लिए और वो जितना सारा उसके साथ में बाकी सामान रहता है, उसको हटा करके जो मेन चीज है उसको पकड़ने के लिए योग अभ्यास जरूरी। जब आप योग अभ्यास शुरू करते हैं और योग अभ्यास के साथ ये सब चीज जोड़ना शुरू करेंगे, आप देखिएगा धीरे धीरे, एक दिन में नहीं होता है, लेकिन धीरे धीरे ये परिवर्तन होना शुरू हो जाए। तो मेरा सुझाव रहेगा रेगुलर योगाभ्यास शुरू कीजिएगा, आपको रास्ता मिलेगा।
मुझे जैसे आपने हमको नाड़ी शोधन प्राणायाम वगैरह सिखाया था
जी,
तो रेगुलर बेसिस पे कर, तो वो योग अभ्यास में आता है या योग यानी
वो
दूसरा
योगाभ्यास में ही आता है, लेकिन हमको एक अभी आप लोग आप क्या क्या कर रहे हैं हम नहीं जान रहे हैं, लेकिन एक हमको एक उपयुक्त शेड्यूल बनाना पड़ता है और थोड़े दिन तक वो शेड्यूल चलता है, उसके बाद जरूरत पड़ने पर उसको थोड़ा सा फिर से बदलना पड़ता है। जैसे हम लोग ठंडी में एक प्रकार के कपड़े पहनते हैं, गर्मी आने के बाद वही कपड़े नहीं पहनते हैं, फिर उसको बदल देते हैं। उसी प्रकार से समय के अनुसार अभ्यास को थोड़ा थोड़ा बदलना पड़ता है।
तो वो आप सिखाएंगे हमको?
निश्चित रूप से, निश्चित रूप से।
और एक भी मेरा प्रश्न था,
बोलिए।
कि तो खाने पीने की आजकल इतने डाइट्स अलग अलग प्रकार से, 2 घंटे से खाओ, 4 घंटे से खाओ, 2 टाइम खाओ, तो क्या आइडियल है वो मैं समझना चाहूंगी, मतलब ऐसे।
ठीक है, ठीक है, इस विषय पर हम अलग से बात करेंगे। आज का विषय तो है नहीं, लेकिन ये बहुत आवश्यक, आपने जो बात छेड़ी है बहुत आवश्यक बात छेड़ी है, क्योंकि आहार ये हमारे जीवन का आधार है और अगर आहार सही नहीं हो तो बहुत दिक्कत होती है। और इस चीज के लिए हम एक बार हरीश जी
I think
अपर्णा,
Nisha ji, stay. Can you
तो
hear?
हम तो हम कह रहे थे कि आप लोग थोड़ा सा इसको ध्यान दीजिएगा और एकाध कोई इसके थोड़ा सा विचार विनिमय करके कुछ सेशन इस विषय पर कीजिए, तो हम बात करेंगे।
That's where I was coming to कि एक तो स्वामी जी से हम विनती कर सकते हैं कि he does a separate session जहाँ पे ये डाइट होना चाहिए, what should be nutrition, what is good bad, that is a one off, but Nisha ji, we are also trying to work on a plan जिधर स्वामी जी between 3 to 6 months ऐसे ऑनलाइन योगा फॉर बिगिनर्स करके शुरू करना चाहते हैं। सो बी इन टच, वी विल कम बैक टू यू ऑन दैट।
अच्छा, और एक रिक्वेस्ट है अपर्णा जी।
हाँ बोलिए ना।
जो नाड़ी है ना, तो नाड़ी हम लोग क्या ढूंढ रहे हैं? नाड़ी अपने आप विल डिस्क्लोज कि ये नाड़ी है, कि वो नाड़ी क्या है वो पता नहीं है।
तो राजेंद्र जी आपके लिए एक अलग स्वामी जी क्लास लेंगे, पहले नाड़ी ढूंढो उसके बाद नाड़ी का।
स्वामी जी आंसर मत दीजिए, क्योंकि वो नाड़ी खुल गई तो प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगा।
राजेंद्र, let's not belittle all this, it's fun. Everybody has their own problems here. Today, for example, Anita ji has been asking some very relevant questions as far as she is concerned. Nisha ji is asking. So as Aparna said, for everybody, there needs to be some starting point. So all these questions, Swamiji is noting it down. He's not writing it off, brushing it off. But I think, Swamiji, what we need to do is, based on all these programs, let's create a starting point. And somewhere down the line, we need to create a larger group, Here,
सॉरी, आई एम जस्ट इंटरप्टिंग। गुड इज, हम स्वामी जी के साथ 2-3 दिन पहले ही मैं बात कर रही थी कि लेडीज के लिए एक आप अलग सा एक प्रोग्राम कीजिएगा, तो उन्होंने कहा कि अगर तुम्हारे पास 8 से 10 आते हैं तो हम जरूर करेंगे। तो मेरे ख्याल से यहीं पे हम 3 जन ऑलरेडी रेडी है, तो स्वामी जी हम और एक 5-6 जन को ढूंढ के
लेकिन वो चीज जो हम बात किए थे वो
पर्सनल
ऑनलाइन वाला नहीं था, वो हमारा फेस टू फेस ज्यादा,
फेस टू फेस था। हाँ, वो भी है,
क्योंकि ऑनलाइन में
हाँ,
थोड़ा कर
ऑनलाइन में
सकते हैं।
दिक्कत अलग है।
हाँ,
ऑनलाइन
लेकिन
में दिक्कत है।
ऑनलाइन में बहुत सारे लिमिटेशंस आते
आई
हैं।
नो आई नो आई नो आई नो।
इसीलिए वो जो चीज आप बोल रहे थे उसके लिए
हाँ।
फेस टू फेस ज्यादा अच्छा है।
फेस टू फेस ज्यादा अच्छा है। ठीक है, वो भी करते हैं।
No, but Aparna, please realize one more thing. What Swamiji wants is today we are working on the same group, 10,
हाँ.
12 people, 10, 12 people. We want to
Yes.
break the shackle of these 10, 12 people
Yes, get
and
more
move to
people.
at least 25, 30 people.
Yes.
And then somewhere down the line, whatever it is, it has to become somewhere little bit paid so that everybody feels little bit more serious.
Yeah.
Not this group. This group is serious. I
Yeah.
don't deny about this group. This group
Yeah.
which is there is very serious.
Yeah.
But we need to get little bit more people. Only then the organization will be able to stand up.
Right.
Satyam Sumiran as well as Bhavans to stand up. We need to have some kind of a paid stuff. It's not.
So now let us conclude today's session. Please sit in a comfortable posture, hands on your knees in Dhyan or Chin Mudra. Eyes and mouth gently closed. Awareness at the eyebrow center. Feeling the presence of Lord Ganesha. And feeling his presence and grace, we shall chant the mantra Om 3 times, followed by the Shanti mantra Purnamada Purnamidam. Taking a deep breath. All together. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Namo Narayan.
Namo Narayan, Namo Narayan.
Let us meet tomorrow at 6 a.m.